Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kyrus House Friends, the show where I sit down with the people that matter to me the most, and those people are my friends. Before we get to our very special guest today, if you are interested in anything else that I have to say, you can feel free to follow me on my favorite social media platforms. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on TikTok and on Snapchat at Kyrus Keenan. Follow me on TikTok before it gets banned. Before it gets sent away. Hopefully Walmart and I don't know if you heard, but like they're saying Walmart and Microsoft might band together and buy it. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But go follow me anyway. And then you can always visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and videos and things that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. But enough about me. Enough about me and my nonsense. Enough about me and my shameless plugs. I'm sitting here with a person that I look up to. He is somebody that I enjoy watching his work. I enjoy reading his work because he is like me. He's like me, and he is all about the good vibes and positivity. I'm sitting here with my man Talmadge Spicer, aka my guy T Spice. Hey, yo, he is an influencer. He is the author of Have the Guts to Follow Your Guts, which you can go get right now. My man, how you doing, bro?
Oh man, that's heaven all around me, bro. You know the
Absolutely.
vibes.
Oh, absolutely, man. Dude, so like, man, I gotta tell you, I was saying this to you right before we hit record. There is just something really nice about seeing black men do their thing right now, especially right now. There's something about black men just being successful, being entrepreneurs, and finding a way to not only uplift themselves but uplift the people around them. So I gotta ask, man. So like you live this life full of positivity and light. How did you get to this point in your life? We're just gonna jump right into it,
Right.
man. Right into it.
Yeah.
How did you get to this point?
Through darkness.
Yeah, yeah,
Through darkness.
yeah.
And that's a trend that I see with a lot of people. I ask people similar questions
Hmm.
when I'm having conversations, and I'm finding that you go through a challenging period in your life and you want to be that support that you had. And that is what the case is for me. When I went to school, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson. We both went to
Nice. You're a
school
Jersey, you're a Jersey
in
boy, right?
Jersey, for sure.
That's
Yep.
right. Rider,
Yes,
baby.
indeed. We went to
Rider,
Rider.
baby.
So he was in South Jersey. I was in North
Yeah,
Jersey.
yeah, man.
But they call Fairleigh Dickinson fairly ridiculous, appropriately because the tuition is so high.
Yes.
So I go there and I get $150,000 in student loans, and my grandmother had
Hmm.
co-signed on those loans for me. I have no clue how I'm gonna pay them back. Part of me wants to just like forget about it. Like, it
Hmm.
just never happened. But
Right.
being that I had my grandmother as a co-signer, that wasn't an option.
Hmm.
So we have the traditional option, 9 to 5, or
Hmm.
we can go into entrepreneurship. I chose entrepreneurship because it had a unlimited amount of income that I could make. I
Yeah.
didn't have a
There's no
cap on the
ceiling.
income that I could
Yeah.
make, right? Yeah, no ceiling. I had that option, or I can work 40 years for somebody else to pay back the $4,000 that Sally Mae wanted every single month
Yes,
and
sir.
barely have a life to live, just to
Yeah.
die and still owe on the loan. So that
Yep.
didn't make any sense. That didn't register for me. But when I made that transition and decided I was going to be an entrepreneur, I jumped in with both feet with an employee mind.
Hmm.
And that was a big mistake. Well, it wasn't a big mistake because I learned from it.
Right.
But I learned such a valuable lesson that entrepreneurship isn't as mechanical as becoming as being an employee is, where you
Hmm.
just show up at a certain time,
Right.
you pull this lever for
Right.
8 hours, and then you clock out, and then that's it.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is more about who you become. So the lesson I learned was that it's super important to become an entrepreneur before you
Mm.
ever became an entrepreneur. And not trying to be too long, but I
No, you're
learned that
good.
lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
I used to use positive thinking as like a tool,
Hmm.
because I was so mechanical. I would wait until things got really bad, and I'm like, okay, now, Tal, think positive, think positive,
Right.
think
Right. Right.
positive.
Right. Right.
And it was just always too little, too late. So after being so high, doing really well in my other business before, things started to decline because my mental health wasn't aligned with that level of success,
Right.
fell back down to square one, went into the 9 to 5. Didn't take me long to realize
To
that
realize you're
that
like, no,
wasn't
this
for
is
me.
not. This
Yeah,
is not for me.
that's not it. That's not it.
So
I
do
swear,
you do you feel like as a black man, it's a little bit harder for you? Do you feel that you have to work extra harder? And I don't mean to play that card, but I'm just curious because I feel like that kind of question is more relevant today more than anything, because I feel like there should be more Black entrepreneurs, but for some reason there are not. And I don't know why. I mean, I think I know why, but I don't know why. Why don't more Black men have this mentality?
You know what? I feel as far as being a Black man, I think one of the biggest challenges is counterintuitively
Mm-hmm.
being told that you have to work twice as hard, and having, because I'm all about mindset, and I know that what you believe you can manifest.
Right.
You look for evidence in your world that proves that that belief system is right. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I did a video a while back with this young woman who didn't really understand her white privilege.
Sure.
And that was one of the things that I consider white privilege, is not growing up constantly being told that you're less than, that you have to work twice as hard, regardless of, the different systematic oppressions that we do, face on a very real basis. One of the things is being allowed to believe in yourself to the max, to believe that you have access to the happiness, to the level of a designer life that you want to build, without the people around you putting you in the same box that we've been put in by society. That's something that I experience on a regular level. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody stopping me. Don't talk to me about, what I'm saying?
How do you, so like, you've been going at this for a while now, right? And then all of a sudden 2020 comes around and it's like, hey guys, what's up? I'm 2020. I'm here. What's good? Right. Do you find it hard do you find any difficulty trying to navigate 2020 with so many things that are out of our control, right? With all the social injustice that has happened, that's always been happening, but especially now. And then you have obviously the coronavirus, which is just wreaking havoc around the world, and so on and so forth. Do you find it more difficult now, or do you find a bigger sense of purpose and dedication and drive in 2020?
Definitely the latter, but it's a funny story because, like you said, been doing this for a while, and I've been doing a lot of self-help books, reading a lot of books, watching a lot of YouTube, absorbing a ton of content, and I learned about the power of gratitude. So I started practicing gratitude, so long ago, and it has generated a certain type of happiness and contentness and motivation and just positive energy around myself for so long that I started to become like kind of suspicious of it. Like, why is things going so good for so long? Like, when is something bad gonna happen? Like they say, if you're not being challenged, if you're not failing, then you're not doing enough. So I'm starting to second guess myself. And then here comes 2020.
2020 shows up, knocks on the door, and say, "Hey, what's up, man?"
I heard you was looking for me. So in my mind, I know that challenge brings growth, so I'm looking for the challenges, and I also understand that if you chase, it'll run. So if I'm chasing challenges, that's probably a good reason why I'm getting stronger, because and I don't really see the challenges, I see opportunities. So when 2020 started, I noticed it right away. I'm like, oh, this is that tidal wave. Let me get on my surfboard, because now it's time to shine. This is where millionaires are made. This is where you know what I'm saying, you come to the top. And I'm riding the wave at first. Okay, got a little COVID going on. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? What else? We had the economic crash. I was really excited about that. Like, please let the stock market crash so I can get in there. So I was excited about that. George Floyd now is starting to affect me. Now this is starting to mess with my mental. I'm back home at the time, so it put me into a depression, but I was able to learn so much about myself in that period, and always the comeback is always tons of lessons there. And I've just been dealing with that. My father recently passed, so
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
We did what we needed to do, took care of the service. It was really nice, but that's just something else that's going into 2020, and I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, after this year, we're
Mm-hmm.
warriors.
Oh,
We're
100%.
titans,
Oh, absolutely. Because
So
we are being challenged in a way that
right,
we have not ever been not ever expected to be challenged, right? And I tell people all the time, and I'm sure you have the same mindset. 2020, while there is so much that's out of our control, it's what you make of it, right? 2020, while it's been like, come on, right? I'm waiting for the aliens to show up at this point, right?
right. Bring it on.
Right? But here's the thing. I gotta tell you, man, 2020 has been a blessing for me. You
Yes.
know, I've always I've had this mindset for a while that, this drive that I had, but let me tell you, man, I have never been more inspired and more motivated like in my life than I am right now,
Right.
because I know I made the decision. I'm like, I'm not going to let this year just like, no, we'll forget that it happened. No, I'm going to remember this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember
Yeah.
this year, and I'm going to make the best of it. But but to your point, it's hard, and then you do sometimes, like there are some days when I'm sitting back and I'm like, man,
Jeez.
I'm sad.
Right.
I'm scared. I'm angry.
Right.
There was the moments today, every time I hear, like with all the protesting and hatred that's happening in the world today, and especially over the last 72 hours, man, I'm just like, man, I am sad, and I am just angry, and I'm confused, and it's just a little bit of everything. But you know what? At the end of the day, I can control me, and I can uplift people around me. So I'm going to
Right.
give it everything I got, because I'm not going to let this year go by and then me just,
Right.
forget about it, man. You know what I'm saying? So you talk with a lot of like people, because you put out this, like on your TikTok and on your Instagram, and obviously like all of those platforms, you put out like a positive message. So I'm sure you hear back from a lot of people. What is it like talking and having these conversations with people right now, just in general in life?
It is just over. It's honestly overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I get it.
it's beyond words. It's not. It's what I asked for. It's what I envision. It's what my heart is connected to, and to experience it is just, I don't know. Like, I'll put out a video just because I had something on my mind or on my heart, or just felt in the mood. And then I remember I did like a positive energy blast.
Yeah.
And the comments on that video are
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like, the most popular, like the trending comment was probably, "I'm in tears. I needed
Wow.
to hear that so
Yeah.
much, so
Yeah.
bad." And it's people all over the world, people of all different walks, religions, races, all types of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I'm like, little old me, like
Right. Right.
I was serious. I'm sincere, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of me that was like, I was just making a video.
Right, right.
Like,
Do you
that's
feel pressure, to like, because you've accepted that responsibility, right? Like just like I have. I've accepted this responsibility of like just being on at all times. I mean, like I'm going to spread positive energy and good vibes and all of this stuff. Do you feel that? I know I do. Do you feel the pressure sometimes to, I guess, not live up to it, but to stay on point, because people in a way sometimes, I guess, depend on you to help them.
right. Well, I do feel pressure, but
Hmm.
not in that way.
Okay.
Right. So I want to explain it. I feel it, when it comes to being on. So, back when I was first talking about my first story, I jumped into entrepreneurship. I was
Hmm.
using positive thinking as a tool. When I decided to jump into entrepreneurship, come back into the game,
Hmm.
I knew that I couldn't do that again. So positive thinking wasn't a tool. I had to become positive. So it had to
Yes.
become part of
You got
my
to be
identity.
that thing. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Hmm.
right. So I had to change a lot of the things that I was consuming, from my music to,
Hmm.
all types of
Hmm.
entertainment, to the conversations I was having with different
Sure.
people, which changed the people I was talking to.
Right.
All of those things changed around me. So who I became changed as well. And yeah, none of us are perfect. Sometimes maybe you don't want to see people, you don't want to show people on social media that you had a drink or something like that.
Hmm.
But I had to come to the understanding that just because I'm human, just because I like some of the same things that aren't the best things for you,
Hmm.
doesn't mean that I'm not a positive
Yes.
person, that I'm not,
Right.
a positive
Right.
influence, that I cannot help anybody that I'm working
That you
with.
can't be human. That you can't
Right.
be a human being. Yes. Hmm.
Right. So with that understanding, it kind of took the pressure off of being who I want people to see me to be, because my brand is who I am.
Right.
Saying? That's how I consider. I just I show up as who I am. Who I
Mm-hmm.
am, however, has changed because of what I want to create.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty content with that. Now, the pressure that I do feel, though, is that since being on TikTok, you know, with the Wild Wild West, the algorithm where you can
Yes.
just reach so many people.
Yeah, it's crazy. It has changed. It has changed lives. Let me tell you, because I'm curious if you were on. Were you on TikTok before quarantine?
Musically, I was on
You're on music.
Musically.
Okay, so you were on it from the get-go. So like I had a TikTok, but I didn't start using it until March 15th, 2020. That was the
Wow.
first day of quarantine, right?
Mhm.
I didn't start using it until that point, and I was home and I was bored. And I'm like, let me
Mhm.
just put up a little something. I don't know what I was putting up. And it got like, at the time, it got like 50 views. And I was like, oh, I'm popular. I'm famous now. I'm like, oh man, I know what I'm doing. People love me. All 50 of these views and like all this stuff. And then it ended up changing my life. Like legit, like it has changed my life. Has TikTok changed your life in any way?
Tremendously, tremendously. So, you know, it's still funny to say the word influencer, like I'm an influencer and
You
stuff.
are,
But
yeah.
so one video goes up to like 150,000, you know, views, and another one's like 250. I'm like, what the hell? This gotta be fake or whatever. But then they invite me to the TikTok creators, the Black
Yeah.
Creators Summit. I'm like, oh, this is kind of real, huh?
Yeah.
And then I got to meet all these other TikTokers. A lot of them got millions of followers and stuff.
Right.
And now I feel like I started to feel like, okay, this is something that I'm going to be doing, something I'm going to be committing to. And it becomes slightly, you know, kind of like an obligation, something that you have to like nourish and treasure and stuff like that. And that's where the pressure I feel comes from, because now I'm like, it's not just about putting out a video, it's about putting out a good video.
Yes.
You know, it's about putting out a video that kind of is aligned with my niche, my industry, the other creators around me. And that's something that I'm struggling with right now. Like
it's
I'm
hard.
still, it's like subconsciously I'm scrolling and I'm checking my comments and my views and stuff like that, because analytics are important, because you're a business person now.
Yeah.
And then you'll go to somebody else's page, like maybe I'll go to your page and it'll be completely subconscious. I know I don't need to do it. I'm like, oh, that was a good video. How many followers does he have?
Right.
150, 15,000. Oh. How many likes does he? Oh, 20,000 likes. Oh,
do you ever find yourself making a video for the sole reason that you know it's gonna do well? Like you do some like dance or something. Like, I'm just gonna do this dance because I know people like it right now. I'm just gonna do this stupid dance. I'm just gonna do it. Whatever.
I wish, but it's just different now.
Yeah, it's crazy because you never know what's gonna happen. Like, because like the dumbest, like most simple video, like one of my most popular videos is something. It took me like 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds. From I got out of my car, I filmed it real quick. Like it was an idea, I just popped in my head. I filmed it real quick. 2 million views later, I'm like, wait, what? And then the video that I spent hours on, the one that I'm like, oh, this is it. Oh, this is it. And then it's like, bloop. It's like, oh, okay, well, all right. I see what you're doing to me.
Screw me, right? Yeah.
That's funny. I want to talk about your book. You wrote a book. Have the guts to follow your guts. You wrote a book.
A book.
Like a book. Like what is that about? Why should people get it?
So the book is a 9-chapter compilation of my life's biggest experiences that I had from jumping out of my comfort zone. Right. So the first chapter goes into have the guts to tell the truth, because as a little kid, I had a father who was very strict. And you know, I'm very curious and analytical, and I want to figure out how things work. So I'm very hands-on, and he would tell me specifically to not go do certain things that I did anyway.
Sure.
And
I think we all did that for sure.
And out of fear of punishment, naturally, I would lie about it. But I would lie so vehemently that I would believe the lie. So when I got punished, I thought that it was unfair. I thought I was being treated unfairly. I guess I was in a victim mindset, right? And that's very dangerous as an adult. So I'm glad that I learned that lesson very early on, is to take responsibility, to do what you want to do, but realize that when the consequences come, you have to own up to it. And I think that's the little tricky part about it, is that okay, well, I don't want to have to lie about this, or I want to avoid the consequences, so I'm just not going to do the thing in the first place. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. If it's something that you want to do, have the guts to follow your guts, but know that you're going to own up to it at the end of the day, regardless of what happens. Right. So that's how the book starts. And then I go into like, have the guts to decide. I talk about decision fatigue. I talk about have the guts to travel, have the guts to take the opportunity, have the guts to leave the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, have the guts to travel, have the guts to live where you want to live, because I moved from Jersey to Idaho, back to
Jersey to Idaho.
Right. Yeah, I
like,
drove there.
On purpose?
Yeah.
What?
On purpose. Yeah. I did that, but now I live in California because I love sunshine and palm trees. And people assume that when you make a move like that, oh, you had a job or you're just trying to make money or grow your business. No, I moved here because I like sunshine and palm trees. And I think that that's a good enough reason
absolutely
to, you know, go ahead on and do something like that.
If it's good enough, if it's good enough for you, and if you believe in it, it doesn't have to be this convoluted. Well, I got this job offer, and I'm concerned about. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just like, no, I want to go sit by the beach. Okay, makes me happy. Go for it.
Right. Yeah. And that's the theme that I hope that people take from the book, is that when you have a vision, when you have a gut feeling, you should have the guts to follow it, because playing it safe is the biggest risk of all.
Oh man, yeah, oh, absolutely. And just to kind of like wrap it up here, there's one more thing I want to ask you, because I know that there might be people listening right now that are they have trouble navigating life the way that we do, right? Like you and I, we can wake up in the morning and be like, I'm going to have a good day today, and then we just have the strength to be able to have a good day, no matter like what happens. And even at the end of the day, even if we didn't have a great day, we find the silver linings. We're like, you know what? This is what went wrong. I'm going to process this. I'm going to be better tomorrow. Right. Like we have that ability. There are people out there, understandably so, that just can't do that. Right. For anybody that's like that, that's navigating 2020 and they're feeling sad and depressed and angry, understandably so, what would you say to them in regards to finishing out this year strong?
Take it moment by moment. That's the key. I think, is to return yourself back to the moment. Like, it's super important to have a plan and a vision for your future, but set aside a time for you to do that, to write, you know, in your journal about what you plan to manifest in your life, and allow that to be the time where you're in the future. You're bringing the future into the present. There's really no such thing as being outside of the present, but if you learn to slow down and take it one breath at a time, you can analyze and judge where your mind is at, where your emotions are at in the moment. And that allows you the opportunity to manage them in real time, versus being away, being just detached from what's going on within you, trying to manage everything that's external, all these things that you can't really control. Meanwhile, you're ignoring the steering wheel is within you, you know, and I think that causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of uncomfortable feelings, because you haven't taken the time to address them. So right now, if anybody is listening, let's take a deep breath. Man, did I go out?
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
deep breath in. And just come back to the moment, because that's where the action happens, in the moment.
Absolutely. You know, I do breathing exercises every morning, and let me tell you, it's the best thing. It's the best decision I ever made, to spend 5 minutes, legit 5 minutes every morning to do breathing exercises. And then anytime during the day that I feel like flustered or frustrated or anything like that, maybe I'm worried about something that's happened later in the day, I literally do what you just did.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. And just taking the things around me, okay, all right, I'm good, and then I'm fine. Dude, I'm so happy that we got to sit and chat, man. Listen, if people want more if they want some more T Spice, they want some more My God T Spice, where can they find you online?
I'm My Guy T Spice on TikTok. I was My Guy T Spice on Instagram. Now I'm My Coach T Spice. Talmadge Spicer on Facebook, and UncleSunnyProject.com. I actually have a movement called the Love Movement. It's my favorite way to sign out of my videos. It's my favorite way to connect with people by just saying that word, love, that vibration. It just feels so good. always raises everybody's vibration. So I have these t-shirts that have the word love over your heart, and the idea is to remind yourself to love yourself, the first love, so that you can love the world. So if you want to be a part of the movement, if you want to be down with OPP,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying, get on
absolutely.
UncleSunnyProject.com.
I'm gonna put that. So
And
for anybody that's watching it right now, I'm gonna put it right down underneath of this, and then for anybody listening on a podcast, I'm gonna put those links up on the in the description as well. My man, Talmadge Spicer, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Come on now.
Yes,
Absolutely. And if you want more Vibe with Kai, you can always follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and TikTok at Kyrus Keenan, and you can visit my website, thevibewithkai.com. I have merchandise too. Maybe we'll do some exchanging of t-shirts. Maybe I'll send you one, you send me one, man. How about that?
That works.
Hey, all right, you heard it. Yeah. Hey, we're going to hold him accountable for this, my friends. Awesome. Yo, everybody else, thank you so much for listening and for watching. I love y'all. Remember to stay blessed. God bless, and good vibes, y'all.